Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining us today, everyone. We're very excited to have you here. I'm guessing that if you're on today's webinar, you're either having a little trouble aligning sales and marketing while working remotely, or just want some tips on even more effective ways to do so. Well, you're in the right place. That's exactly what we'll be covering during today's webinar. But before I let my boss, Chad Collette, the Director of Marketing at Ledgeview Partners, dive in, I'd love to tell you a little bit more about us. Ledgeview Partners is a business and technology consulting firm who partners with organizations like yours to transform sales, marketing, and customer service operations and processes that are supported by core technology, including CRM and marketing automation. Our team provides strategic business advice, process definition, and technology solutions that advance business processes forward, helping you to achieve your unique goals in sales, marketing, customer service, and of course, CRM. Today's webinar will take up about a half hour of your time. It is being recorded and will be available on demand after the live session, so all of you will receive a follow-up email after the webinar is complete with a link to access the presentation. So if you haven't already, add us to your safe senders list to ensure you get that email, or if you do find any email from us in your spam folders, mark it as not spam. If you're unsure how to do that, just ping me and I can send you a step-by-step guide that we created on the Ledgeview blog to help you out. To ensure the best audio quality, everyone is on listen-only mode today. But if you have a question or comment at any time, just submit those in the question pane of your GoToWebinar control panel, and we'll be sure to follow up with you afterward. And now it's time to introduce Chad Collette. As the Director of Marketing at Ledgeview, his career journey has made him perhaps the perfect person to present on today's topic. He has a lot of experience managing marketing and sales teams and bringing them together, whether they're remote or at the office, using powerful tools like Salesforce and Microsoft Dynamics 365, or even through marketing automation. What makes Chad's approach great is that he knows attention to relationships is what sets teams apart and gets them moving forward together, but I'll let him speak to that. And now it's time to welcome him. Hi, Chad.
Hey, Julia, thank you. And I want to start with a warm Wisconsin welcome to everyone joining us today from across the country and around the world. So, wherever you are, I hope that this finds you safe, well, and optimistic for a return to normalcy very, very soon. We really appreciate you giving us 30 minutes today to focus on the now and really give you tools to help improve for the future. Sales and marketing alignment seems to be one of those great mysteries that some organizations do not even realize is an issue. And often if they do, they may say, it is what it is. Obviously, you don't take that viewpoint and want to take steps to align your teams and make use of your technology, mainly CRM, to make that happen. Why do that? Well, wouldn't you like to experience 36% higher customer retention rates? How about 38% higher sales win rates? How'd you like to boast that your company became 67% better at closing deals, thanks in part to your sales and marketing alignment efforts? If it was that easy, everybody would do it, right? But before we get into the how and the what that you can do to drive alignment, let's talk about a few of the challenges that, we kind of see teams having on a daily basis. I could create probably 20 slides of sales and marketing challenges, but these are just a few of the top ones that organizations seem to encounter. Hopefully you don't have all these, but don't worry if you do, because that just leaves a lot of room for improvement. Do you have fragmented or disconnected systems, so you're always looking in multiple places for information? How many times have you checked multiple systems and found different information there? Which one's correct? How many times did you wish that marketing collected specific data points on leads, or vice versa, as the sales team engages with customers, but they don't make those details available to marketing to analyze? The list really goes on and on. It seems like it's always sales versus marketing. And that brings us to CRM versus marketing automation. Now, I'm not going to do a deep dive into this one, because if you are interested in the key differences between these solutions, like what the difference between CRM versus marketing automation, we are hosting another webinar on this very topic coming up next month. So go to ledgviewpartners.com and you can see that one under the resources tab to get registered for that. Now, on the surface, as you can see, marketing gets lumped in typically with marketing automation tools, and sales has their CRM. They go, marketing, you've got your program, and sales, you have yours. And I'm guessing a few people on the webinar today can resonate with that. And where each of these teams and these solutions are disconnected and often run in a silo. That's why it's so important to gain sales and marketing alignment. You need to also align or integrate your CRM and your marketing automation solution. Having these systems disconnected is going to guarantee a disconnection between your sales and your marketing teams. Now, there'll be a tremendous amount of information that you're going to miss out on, not to mention inefficiencies having two disconnected systems that create. Now, by far, this should be your number one priority to get in motion, as you may need to involve others like maybe your IT team or your CRM or marketing automation provider or a partner. Again, there's a lot of steps and questions that you need to address to integrate these solutions, but it's so important to your success that it needs to be a priority. And even though to me it seems like a no-brainer why we want to integrate these solutions, I'm going to cover a few anyway. And we're going to get deeper into a few of these as we move through today's information. Now, a connected system is going to allow both your sales and your marketing teams to track leads from the start to the finish in your CRM. You can see how leads came to you. Was it from a webinar, from a trade show, maybe a social campaign you ran, or a referral? How did they move down the funnel and engage with you? You can get a single source of truth and see all their engagement and the activities from both a sales and a marketing perspective. And when you qualify them, you can link the opportunities and that revenue to your lead source or your source campaign in CRM to be able to show ROI from your marketing and sales activities. And with marketing attribution, you can link that revenue to more than one activity. As sales connects with them on the phone, via email, or in person, they have that important background information on what they've been reading, downloading, watching, or even sharing with others. And with a connected CRM to marketing automation solution, it can be seamless to send back a lead to marketing if they're not ready to buy or engage with sales. Now, today our focus is not only on the technology or your CRM solution specifically as the hub, but also on the people that really bring it all together. In order to have sales and marketing alignment, like it or not, you're going to have to talk, you're going to have to communicate with each other, and that starts with creating a consistent, open dialogue. It's important to gain that trust component as you solicit and you share updates. Now, this can be weekly, bi-weekly, or even monthly catch-ups. At LedgeView, our sales and marketing teams, which are located across multiple states, have a standing virtual coffee connection that we do every other week. Now, I'm going to admit it, even though we are not based out of the same office pre-COVID, it took this pandemic to kind of remind us that we need to connect face-to-face on a consistent basis. Now, there's really no requirement to attend and there's no pressure, but it's a time that we set aside to enjoy a cup of coffee, catch up on each other on a personal level, and talk about what each person or team is seeing in our interactions with the leads, with prospects, with customers, what's working and what is not. What requests does sales have for marketing and vice versa? Just taking 30 minutes every other week to lay the groundwork for open communications that can build trust. That keeps us ahead of the game and allows us to also avoid some of those half-day, full-day, or even multi-day planning sessions. Now, don't get me wrong, they have their place, but keeping something on your calendar that is consistent and ongoing is totally going to pay dividends. For each one of these, though, depending on the size of your organization, you'll likely need a group leader just to keep the conversation on track and ideally provide or ask topics that you want to talk about each week, or moderate a quick run around the team. And finally, just to say, hey, time's up. So everybody's time is respected because we all know for sales and marketing folks, we like to talk. An exercise that can be done offline, online, or really a combination of both, but requires input from both sales and marketing is developing and agreeing on the profile of your target buyer. Now, if you've not done this exercise before, get it on your calendar. This is going to be the framework from which all of your marketing will resonate to. If you are marketing and you do not understand your target buyer, you are likely missing the mark. But I know our target buyer profile, you might say to yourself. Okay, cool, that's awesome. Write it down. Now ask another member of your team to do the same, and someone from other teams outside of sales and marketing or even management. See how many differing profiles or attributes you get back. Even if they match 75, 80%, you're going to learn several nuances that may not have thought about before. And right or wrong, it's going to drive great discussion and talking points between your teams, why each of those persona factors that they listed made their list. And it's not rocket science. Just a simple spreadsheet's going to do the trick, like one used to hear with these 7 columns. Now, you may have more than these or less. This is just an example of what you can use to get started that will help you focus on the main points you need to identify. The role or the title you're seeking out. Is it a decision maker in IT, sales, or maybe operations? Do they hold a manager, a director, a VP, a C-suite title? What's their educational background? Is demographics a consideration? And what are their goals? What are their needs? Most importantly, what are their challenges? How can your product or your solution help them overcome those? And what objections does sales hear when they connect with prospects? And finally, how is marketing and sales positioning your solution in your company? Sales and marketing can dig into their brains to recall all this information as you put it to pen to paper. But guess what? All this information should also be in your CRM solution. Run a report of your top customers and see what job titles your primary contacts hold. You see any similarities? Where are they located? Any trends? What about notes in your system and how you won or even lost opportunities? All this data will be insanely helpful as you create your buyer profile. And note, based on your business and your product or your service offerings, you may likely have several profiles that you want to target. And as you have your one-to-one or your team catch-ups, and someone talks about information that you know could be key to target buyers, go ahead and ask them if that information has been captured in CRM. As I mentioned, you may have several buyer profiles based on your business. High level, here are some examples of what some of these profiles could look like. You can take it as a high level, or you can get as detailed as you wish. During this exercise, you may find that your CRM solution is not tracking some of the important attributes. You're going to want to work with your CRM administrator to request additional fields that really make sense for your CRM and reinforce to them why you want these fields, what they'll be used for, what the data collected will be used for, and the time frame that you want this updated. Depending on your internal processes and approval systems, you don't want this to get put on a shelf for a while because they don't think it's important. When you know the ins and the outs that you're targeting, you need to make sure that your content is going to resonate with that target buyer and drive them to the next steps in the buyer's journey. Now, in so many organizations, marketing is going to create all the content and assets in a silo. I'm not saying you need to run every new graphic, social post, ebook, or video by a member of the sales team. But as you create a line of assets targeting a specific buyer or an industry or product line, you want to make sure it's going to connect. Of course, you're going to A/B test these, but getting feedback from sales, the folks that engage with these buyers, they're going to point you down the right path, at least most of the time. They're the ones inside their offices, so they know, they see the magazines that they're reading, they know what activities they enjoy. This insight is going to be so important to marketing as you want to really connect and have that content drive awareness. Does sales even know about the current assets you have? Do they have access to them? Do they use them? In addition to those conversations with sales and marketing, your CRM can provide you a ton of direction if you're capturing the right information in your system. Finally, if you're going to ask for suggestions and feedback, you got to be open to it. Now, I know some marketers can get a little sensitive about some of the content and assets that they feel strongly about, but if you're missing the mark, it's better to get that feedback and improve right away than spinning your wheels with limited results. Now, like earlier with our buyer profile, a quick spreadsheet is going to help just take a quick inventory of what you have currently, how it's being used, if it's being used, and is it still current or is it outdated? you may need to create some new assets or just do a quick update to some of the current ones with, say, some new graphics, some new calls to action. You're going to want to share this list with sales. See if they're aware of all these assets that they're available. As your leads move through the buyer's journey, which is another much involved topic, and that should be co-created between sales and marketing as well. You want to make sure that you have content suitable for each stage, taking them from the top of the funnel or that awareness stage all the way to the purchase and the lifelong customer stage. Do you have the right content with the right calls to action for each stage? And where is this content stored? Is it available in SharePoint? Is it in CRM? Is it on your website? Does the content you have work? Is it effective? With the connected marketing automation to CRM solution, you can see the interaction at each stage to know what really works and, frankly, what's missing the mark. Of course, we want to make sure, who we're marketing to and pushing through the funnel are the right leads, that we're sending to our sales team at the right time. Otherwise, we run the risk of not only losing trust between sales and marketing, but also those leads that really may be qualified, but maybe they're just not ready to buy. And if you jump on them too soon or you ignore them, they're going to go to your competitors when they are ready to purchase. One way to know when leads are ready to engage with sales is to implement a scoring program for your leads and prospects. Many marketing automation solutions have some sort of lead scoring functionality. And now we're also seeing CRM solutions like, Salesforce and Microsoft Dynamics 365 have the ability to assign and track lead scores as well. Either way you go, the ability to view, sort, and report on lead scores in CRM is a huge asset to both sales and marketing. Now, to take a quick step backwards, for those that might be unfamiliar, lead or behavior scoring is kind of an essential shared sales and marketing methodology for ranking your leads in order to determine, their sales readiness. You can take factors that fall into an explicit scoring model that allows sales and marketing to easily spot those that match their ideal target buyer profile based on things like title, role, company size, geography, etc. Now, the flip side of the scoring coin is the implicit scoring model. Now, I think this is kind of the fun one for sales and marketing. This is how your leads and your prospects and even your customers are engaging with you and your content. From website and landing page visits, email clicks, product catalog downloads, demos, free trials, and more. The first really shows how interested you are in them, and the latter shows how interested that they are in you. And with that comes the ability to also weed out leads that are not looking to do business with you. Oftentimes, this may be people looking for jobs or even competitors of yours doing research. As you can see here, we have an example of a lead that's positive and fits into our profile, and another who's just a student that's on our website but appears to be looking for a job instead of being an active buyer. Now, if we're a staffing company, those parameters might be totally different. But for a lot of business, you want to weed those out of your sales and marketing efforts. To really build those lead scores, you want to ensure that your automated nurture programs or your buyer's journey has visibility in your CRM. These campaigns are created in a marketing automation tool, but linking the activities to CRM is going to allow sales to see engagement from that lead, that prospect. What emails resonated more than others? Did they ignore some, but they clicked on others? Based on their interaction in the buyer's journey, you can also set up workflows or automated processes to alert sales to engagement, or if that lead is ready to connect. On the flip side, if there is no engagement, you can also create a process to move them to a new list or a new nurture, or disqualify them completely and keeping only the active, engaged leads in the view for the sales and marketing teams. Taking the nurture campaign and combining that with your lead scoring, you can see how that might look here. Slowly engaging, ramping up their interaction. That's going to lead to higher scoring, and it's going to really ultimately slowly bring them down the funnel to marketing qualified. And while the back end of marketing automation is typically not sales friendly, syncing those behavior scores to CRM allows both sales and marketing to see those that are engaging all time, the past 30 days, the past week, or even yesterday or today. Who has your company top of mind? I know one of the dashboards that Act on Marketing Automation has that connects to Dynamics 365 and also Salesforce is something called Hot Prospects. And it is extremely popular with sales. It'll show leads and prospects owned by them and gives them the ability to quickly see a lead score based on a shorter period of time. Now, it's one thing to have a lead score of, say, like 100, and all the activity is from 6 months or even a year or later. Or to see a score of 100, but know that it's from the last day or 3 days or even 7 days. That gives sales a great pulse of that lead, and it's time to create that follow-up email or a phone call, which they can and should track in CRM so both sales and marketing can see it. They can create views and they can report off of it. As your leads move through the funnel, how are you managing them? Making sure that leads don't get stalled or that leads that are engaging with you are transferred to sales and that they're followed up on in a timely manner. You want to improve visibility, response time, and ultimately that time from lead to opportunity. Over my years, I've talked to many organizations that they don't use leads at all in CRM. And for some industries and businesses, it doesn't make sense. But for many, it does. And by using lead management in your CRM, it can create a single view of your leads and your prospects and unify that data for sales and marketing to access. Track how long they've been in your system, how long they're in each stage, and the last time they were sent, opened, or clicked on an email. And if and when sales follow up with them, or if they didn't follow up at all for that matter. And of course, as leads are qualified and converted, you can retain all that lead history, including the source of that lead, that you efficiently create an account, a contact, and an opportunity. And all this information that will ultimately sync to your views and your reports and your charts and your dashboards. And to make your lead management even easier, workflows in CRM can be automated processes and a reminder, and they're just so simple, and the possibilities are endless. I mean, here's a few of my favorites. Sending sales or marketing an email when a new lead is assigned to them. In that email, include a hyperlink to that record in CRM. Make it easy for them to access that record. This is helpful just to keep it top of mind. And for marketing to know that a lead has been reassigned back to them for additional marketing. Maybe lead scores of a certain threshold may warrant a workflow email reminder. When a lead completes a form, I know our sales loves this one. As leads, prospects, and customers complete any forms, they gain immediate access to that information submitted, including any key questions or things that may alert them to follow up immediately. As I said, setting up automated workflows and triggers in CRM, it's pretty much endless. If you're not taking advantage of these workflows, it's a huge time saver and benefits both the sales and marketing tremendously. As marketing hands off the qualified lead to sales and they convert them, opportunities are created, and opportunity management in CRM is a great way to align your sales and marketing teams. At the end of the day, number of clicks, likes, and downloads are great, but they don't quite matter in the terms of revenue. Opportunities created and ultimately one does. Both sales and marketing put in a lot of effort from the start to get to that finish line, and the opportunity is a great way to analyze and report on those wins and those losses. That data that will be collected in CRM is extremely valuable and should be really impacting future campaigns, your strategies, and your tactics. The ability to capture opportunity stage, the age, potential revenue, products or solutions, competitors, and any holdups or next step stalls means that, if you capture this information, you can view it, you can report on it, and you can make effective business decisions based because of it. It can also allow sales to properly forecast opportunities in their pipeline and adjust on the go as they need. What is the revenue by stage? What is the win rate? And does the amount of opportunities in your entry stage meet that need? We have created dashboards that show a sales user or manager, to find out if they're on target for quota. How would you like to see a view, report, chart, or dashboard or just details that can be displayed by salesperson, by territory, by product, by service, and what sales or also marketing needs to do to hit those numbers for the year. Knowing the time remaining in the month, the quarter, or the fiscal year, the average win rate, again, sliced by rep or by solution or by department. How about the estimated volume, the units, or the number of opportunities that you need in that pipeline to hit those goals? Sales knows their quotas, but do they really know what it takes to hit that number based on their current pipeline and historical success data? If sales is short on opportunities, otherwise known as like a gap to goal, they can provide this data to marketing to drive new campaigns and ramp up to help them achieve their numbers. With real-time or even daily syncs to your back office software, to your CRM, this is critical data that can help both sales and marketing look like real superstars. I mean, taking a look at this dashboard, how many people would love to have this information at their fingertips right now? Now, there's been a lot of talk about sales and marketing alignment and how to accomplish that from the leads to the opportunities. What we want to do is build trust and open lines of communication between sales and marketing. It's also important to have business processes and service level agreements, or SLAs, in place to keep both teams on track. Now, SLAs need to be outlined for each phase of the revenue cycle as prospects move from that lead to opportunity stage. As we create workflows and systems become automated, everyone is going to perform at a higher level. Getting these processes in place also provides some documentation, so marketing can demonstrate how someone became a marketing qualified lead, the timing that's expected for the follow-up from sales, when a lead gets qualified to an account and an opportunity, and if that lead is not ready to connect with sales, how does sales send that lead back to marketing for additional nurturing? Having an SLA between sales and marketing is going to create structure, and it's going to keep everyone involved accountable. Now, speaking of accountability, what isn't tracked can't be measured. I'm sure if you have a CRM solution, you've heard the mantra before, if it's not CRM, it doesn't exist. Now, companies do this for a reason. It's not Big Brother, it's to ensure that the data is in the system can provide them with the greatest source of information to make the best business decisions effectively and efficiently. Now, between sales and marketing, there are hundreds of KPIs that you can implement to track. You can go report, chart, and dashboard crazy. Solutions like Salesforce and Microsoft Dynamics 365 can slice and dice information any way you want it and create just visually stunning dashboards. Part of the alignment between sales and marketing is knowing which dashboards are important to you in your role and what is important to share with others. That could be the number of leads created, qualified or disqualified. And yes, tracking disqualified leads is important as well. Marketing is spending a lot of time and money attracting new leads, and you want to know what works and what is bringing in leads that don't fit your profile or that are not interested in your product or your service. Tracking marketing attribution. For those unfamiliar with this, it's a great way to learn which of your assets contributed to the revenue. You can attribute to the first touch when a lead came into your CRM, which could be from social media posts, content syndication, SEO, a webinar, or a trade show, or spread that revenue over multiple assets to show value and return on investment in your efforts. They may have come in from a Twitter post, but then they visited 3 web pages, they downloaded an ebook, they attended a webinar, they checked out a case study, and they requested a demo. Does social media get all the credit? Or was it a powerful demo by sales at the end that closed the deal? Or was it a combination of both, or all the assets that were involved in all between the touches? Just as important to tracking leads is having access to view opportunity dashboard information. Number of new opportunities created in the source campaign that can be credited. Which competitors are we constantly matching up against? What are the reasons we are winning or losing deals? And what are the stalled opportunities? Does sales need marketing to launch a new campaign to get that back in motion? These and so many more are important to track and share in your sales and marketing communications. All of these strategies and tactics are not easy, but they can produce results, like leading to a 32% increase in year-over-year growth. How about that 35 to 50% of sales go to businesses that respond first? Now, if that isn't an incentive to make sure that marketing and sales are on the same page, I don't know what is. Except that if there is a misalignment between these two teams, it can cost a B2B company 10% or more of your revenue loss each year. Now, missing out on that revenue is definitely going to impact your annual budget for the following year. Now it's time to roll up your sleeves and get to work. Remember, Rome was not built in a day, and sales and marketing alignment isn't going to be either. Don't bite off more than you can handle at one time. And if you need assistance, don't be afraid to ask for help, either internally or externally. All right, now with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Julie to provide just a few quick resources that are available to you. And I'm also going to put up my contact information. So if anybody wants to talk alignment, CRM, or marketing automation, please drop me a line anytime. I would love to connect. Back to you, Julia.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Chad. Those are some great tips I think we can all leverage in our daily sales and marketing practices. If you're looking for even more ways to improve your sales and marketing collaborations and alignment, we've created a variety of ebooks, infographics, blogs, videos, and other webinars on topics like making your sales team CRM savvy, aligning sales and marketing through the power of marketing automation, preparing for a successful CRM implementation, the best practices to gain user adoption with Salesforce or Microsoft Dynamics, and even more. You can download this content and browse it at ledgeviewpartners.com whenever you like. Before you log off of today's presentation, subscribe to our blog so that you don't miss any of our upcoming webinars. We have quite a few, and it's never too early to put them on your calendar. That's it from us today. We hope you and your families are continuing to feel well and stay busy in today's climate. Enjoy the rest of your summer, and we'll see you back soon for more webinars. Take care, everyone.